What's up, guys? It's your boy Vic, and we back with another video. And today we're going to talk about diving in the unknown. What do I mean by diving into the unknown? When you're born, you grow up believing and accepting the truths of your parents and the people around you. As soon as you get born, you start learning new things from your surroundings. You learn how to walk when you see your mom and dad walk. You learn how to use the bathroom when you see your mom, or when your mom and dad teach you how to use the bathroom. You learn how to speak from the language that your parents spoke. And as time goes on, you learn these habits and you learn these mindsets, and eventually you grow up and you become what your parents want you to become to a certain extent. And that's a great thing to have. Having that foundation, having two parents or having a parent that teach you how to maneuver through life is can be great if you're given a solid foundation. But what we find out is that we have things that we are not conscious of. There's things that we don't know that is not true, but because that's all we've seen and that's all we've heard and that's all we've experienced, we then accept those as truths because we all want, our brain craves certainty in our lives. And we look for that. And that's why people stay safe and they live mundane lives, right? This is the reason why they do that, is because it brings certainty to their lives. They have certainty when they're staying at home with their parents, or when they listen to everything their parents told them to do, when they follow a certain direction, they have a bit of certainty to them, and we crave certainty. But certainty can handicap us from going to the next level or experiencing more or going to see something different. And that's how I got into the topic of diving into the unknown, is because diving into the unknown is putting you on in a place where you're on the edge of difficulty and the edge of lack of knowledge, but yet you're still surviving. You want to put yourself in that position, somewhere where you're good enough to stay, but not good enough to thrive just yet. And until you break through that next level, whatever that is in your life, you won't be able to thrive until you get to that point. But once you do get to that point and you are thriving, you have now completed a level in your life, almost like a video game, right? It's almost like you're playing a video game, and you get to break through a part in a video game that you just could not get by, a certain level that you could not get by, a certain, jewel or something that you could not obtain. But once you finally obtain it, it feels so good. You get this nice dopamine hit. That's why video games are so addictive, because people get a dose of what real life accomplishment feels like without having to accomplish anything. I'm against video games. I do not like video games. I do not play video games, because if you look at like video games like GTA, or if you look at certain video games where you can accomplish things, they're giving you this false sense of accomplishment. Just like porn gives you a it gives you a false sense of accomplishment, like you actually went out and actually had sex with a woman, but you really didn't. You're just sitting there rubbing one off. Same thing with video games. You get this dopamine hit. That's why video games are so addictive, because you get this dopamine hit when you make it to the next level and you feel like you're accomplishing something, but you're really not. And you get addicted to that. And so that's why I encourage every man, and even women as well, if you're watching this, I give advice to men, though. I'm not going to cap. You should be diving into the unknown. I want to talk about my unknown, my personal experience. When I went to LA, that was diving into the unknown. I didn't know anybody. I didn't have any friends when I went out there. I had a family member that I stayed with. He lived like 60 miles outside of well, I wouldn't say 60, maybe like 20 miles outside of LA. I stayed with him for 7 days, and then I moved into my place on the seventh day. And what I realized was that I had to dive into my own unknown to be the person that I wanted to be. I had to go test the ideas, the frameworks that were given to me from my parents and the people around me. I had to go test that for myself to see what was true and see if it was true, or just to experience different things in other people's perspective, because other people think differently than I do. And people have different results than the people around me and that I have. In order to experience that and to go see that, I had to dive into the unknown. I went out to Cali, no help. I saved up $2,000. I rented out I had a bed with 3 other people in that room, and I lived there for 6 years. And I had different experiences. I had to test things out, figure out what was right, figure out what was wrong. I had to figure out things on my own to figure out what was true. And I found a lot of truths that I thought was true are no longer true. Like how to make money, the best way to make money, right? I always thought that you go to school and you get a good job. And yeah, you should go to school and get a good job if that's something that you want to do. But that's not the only way to make money, and it's not the most effective way to make money. Okay? And so I had to test some of the beliefs I had. I had to go out there and test that and figure out exactly what I would do. I would test different businesses. Like, I knew I wanted to start a business, so I went out there, I lived below my means, and I just started testing things like a mad scientist. I did drop shipping, I did a little bit of wholesaling, I did a little bit of this, I did a little bit of that. I tried a whole bunch of stuff to figure out what was my niche, what was I going to do. But it put me into the unknown, and eventually, man or woman, you eventually figure out and shape your own identity in the unknown, right? It pushes you to that boundary. I think every man and every woman, but again, this is a men's channel, they should go out there and try to figure out what exactly it takes or what they're actually made of. You know, figure out exactly what you're made of, because it's going to be some hard times out there. I remember I couldn't find a job. I remember I was sitting on the curb and I was crying because I couldn't find a job. I didn't know I was going to pay my rent. And I was actually about to go back home. I was like, Mom, I think I'm going to come back home. She was like, nope, you got to stay out there. And that was the best thing she could have done for me. I thank God for that. I thank God that she said that. I thank God that she said, stay out there and finish it. I'm so happy she said that to me. It was the 4th month out there. I was like, Mom, I don't know if I can do it. This and that, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, stay out there. And I did that. I made that happen, right? So I went out there and just and tested the unknown. I went out there and figured things out. I went out there to a new city with nobody I knew, and I just had to figure shit out. And that made me stronger as a person. You put yourself through shit on purpose, just like you go to the gym on purpose to put yourself through lifting heavy weights to see exactly what you can do. It's the same thing with going out into the real world. Going out to California, I needed to see what I could do. I needed to test my knowledge. I needed to test my frame. I needed to test what's true and what's not true. And I did those things. And so maybe you're in a point in life, maybe you don't have that much confidence. Well, you need to do something. You need to go do something that's going to increase your confidence. And one good way to do that is move into the middle of a city or whatever place you want to go to and just go and figure things out. That's a great way to test who you are as a person. Are you going to fold under pressure? You're going to go back to mommy? Oh, mommy. Or are you going to sit out there, you're going to dig it out until you get where you need to go? And for me, it was a long time, bro. I was living in poverty for a long time. A long time, bro. And then eventually I just decided, okay, I need to go get a job. And, I started meeting people, and eventually I got to a point where I was thriving. I made $25,000 in 1 month. I made probably like $90,000 to $100,000 that year. I had enough money in the bank. I was taking vacations, but it took me 4 long years to get to that point. The last 2 years when I was in California was probably my most wealthiest years for myself. I was balling. I was going on trips. I was buying clothes. I was going on dates. Dating fine ass women, nigga. I was out here. I was out here, cuz. Really. Big stepping, nigga. It's like, nah. But, yeah, like, I was really out here, man. And so, but I put myself through that fire to test myself, man. Like, a lot of these dudes these days are so unconfident because they never want to dive out into the unknown. They never want to test themselves. They never want to see how far they can go. If you have lifted weights and you haven't lifted weights till failure where you almost died, I'm not literally saying die, but if you haven't lifted into a point where I can't lift no more, you haven't really lifted weights. And if you haven't, this one might be a little bit out there, but fuck it. If you haven't gotten to a point in your life where you're not sure if you're going to make it out, then you really haven't lived. That's just facts. If you haven't tested those boundaries, you haven't really tested who you are as a man, bro. The unknown is how you find your meaning, bro. It's how you find who you are as a person. It shows you your grit, seeing how far you can go with some shit. How far are you gonna go with some shit? If you get into a certain situation and nigga trying you, or you gonna be like a bitch, or you gonna put your hands up and you gonna be ready to fight? What you gonna do? You never seen yourself in that position, and so you don't feel confident when you're in that position because you never seen yourself in that position because you never had to put yourself out there to be in that position. I've been in that position. I'm not trying to brag but the thing is, I did it on purpose. I put myself in that position on purpose because I needed to know who I was as a person. And I ain't gonna lie, there was some times there was some times in my life where I was a bitch, not in a fighting sense, in the sense of I should have said something, but I didn't say something. Like at American Heart for Gold, there's a lot of dogs there. There's a lot of like aggressive alpha type, A-type men there. And there's a lot of psychological warfare going on in that fucking office, bro. It was ridiculous. There's a lot of psychological warfare. And there was a time where I had a chance to step up to this dude who said some weird shit to me, and I didn't do it because I was trying to keep it PC. And in my heart and in my chest, I felt like a little bitch. And I fucked up. I should have said something, but I didn't. But the next time I'm in that situation, the next time I get into anything like that, I'm not holding my tongue no more. I'm not holding my tongue no more. I'm not doing it. Because I don't want to feel like that ever again. If I ever discover a bully like that again, because he was a bully, but I didn't say shit, because I didn't want to lose my job. That's my biggest thing. I didn't want to lose my job. That's the biggest reason why I ain't say shit. If this was real life, I probably either never would hang out with this nigga, or I would have beat his ass right there in the fucking, right there. Or I would have said some shit so he would try to fight me, so I would fight him back. You know what I'm saying? And that was a situation that I always remember, that I'll never forget. But it is what it is. It's never going to happen again. It's okay to get bitch one time in your life. I'll say it. It's okay. Twice, you a real bitch. If you a real hoe if you do that. Alright? But yes, back to what I was saying. The unknown is where you find your meaning. I found myself when I was in California. I found out who I am as a person. I know what I don't like. I know what I do like. I know what I want to do with my life. I know why I'm doing it. You find those things because while you're out there, you do things and you test things and you try things that you might like, and you figure out you don't like them. And then you try things you do like, and then you find out you like them. You can't do that at your mom's house. You can't. It's hard to do that because your mom's telling you what to do. Oh, you do this. But you never know. And then you lead a life that you don't even like because you listen to mom and dad 24/7. You know what I'm saying? You don't even know what you like because you've always been listening to somebody else. That's why you need to step out there on your own and figure out your own shit. But people are scared to do that. They're scared that if you go out to Cali and try to live on your own, you're going to die or some shit. No, you're not going to die, bro. I mean, you could, but it's like, there ain't no risk unless death is involved. And it's better to die for something than live for nothing. And you figure that out when you get to that stage, when you step out into the unknown, man. When you step out on your own, and I'm not just saying just moving away. It could be starting a business. It could be starting a relationship. It could be starting a family. It could be going into a new career. It could be anything, right? You might want to try something new, maybe social media, but you don't know exactly how to do it. You have to just put yourself into the fire. There is no, oh, let me dip my toe in. I used to get in ice baths back in college, right? And what I realized about these ice baths is them shits hurt. Especially the first time. You're like, fuck no, I ain't never doing that shit again. But they're great for your legs. And that's something I learned later on in my career. In my college football career. That the ice bath is great and it's healthy. And if you play a lot, you're gonna use that shit because it helps you heal faster. It's like a hyperbolic time chamber. And but the crazy thing about it is an extreme amount of pain when you get in there. You feel like your head is spinning. You want to bite your fucking tongue off. It's so fucking painful. And so you get in there, and what a lot of people do their first couple of times, they try to dip their toe in first. Or they try to feel it with their hand. No. That's not how you get into the ice bath. You just jump in and you just take it. Because the faster you get in, the faster you can get out. Or not even that, the faster you get in, the more you adapt to the temperature. I think it's, I forget who the philosopher or whoever said this, but it's not the strong that survive or the smartest, it's the ones that can adapt. And that's what stepping out into the unknown can do for you. It can help you adapt to whatever comes your way. Because you don't know what's going to come your way when you step out to the unknown. When you're at your parents' house, you pretty much have a general idea what's going to happen. But when you're out there by yourself and you meeting strangers and you don't know who this person is and who that person is and they look all crazy as fuck to you, because that's where I was at. I was in South Central in a hostel and there was people moving in and out and they all was, some of them was crazy, some of them was cool, and you had to identify who was crazy and who was cool because you ain't want to get stabbed in the back or some shit. And one thing I've noticed, and this is a side tangent, but people who are slightly crazy, they have this dilation of the eyes. Their eyes just constantly, anybody who's been through some major trauma, what you'll see is their eyes are constantly dilated. They're never relaxed. You know how you get when you're about to get in a fight? Your eyes start to, your pupils start to dilate and they get very small and start to focus. There's a lot of people out here who've been through a lot of trauma and they're stuck in their trauma, and you can tell by their eyes. Like they say, the window of the soul is through the eyes, and I believe that because I had to judge people who I was gonna let in and out the hostel at the place I was living at based off their character. And one thing I've always noticed, the people I didn't really fuck with the most, their eyes were always dilated because they had, you can tell there was some trauma that went on in their life, or they had some mental issues or some shit. That's a side tangent. Those are things you'll learn when you step out on your own. You have to do that. I feel like you have to do that in some sort of way. Whether it's college, maybe it's after college. I think for me, it was after college for me. There was no going back home and shit. I was paying bills on my own, this and that. But you gotta figure that out for yourself. Because once you do, you know who you are as a person. You'll be more confident. Stepping out into the unknown and conquering the unknown is like stepping out and slaying the fucking dragon on Zelda. You're more confident now. You've already slayed fucking dragons before, bro. I've been here before. I've been broke before. It ain't nothing new. I've been broke for 4 years. Now I'm broke again. It ain't nothing new. I've been up and I've been down. It ain't nothing new, bro. I've been through the bullshit. That's why older men have more confidence, because they've been through the bullshit already. I've been through it. I've seen it all, bro. I'm really like that now. I'm really like, I don't give a fuck what nobody tells me. I'm going off a little rant right now, but I don't give a fuck what nobody tells me no more, bro. I've been through the bullshit now. I'm 31 years old. Like, I already seen it. I already seen niggas try me. I've let niggas get pie trying me, and I'm never going to let niggas get by trying me again. Trust me. Trust me. I already been through it, and I'm speaking my mind these days. I don't give a fuck. Because if you don't, they're going to run over you. People are going to get over on you. You gotta speak up. Especially as a man, that's why you gotta step out there on your own, because you're gonna get used and abused a couple of times. You're gonna get used and abused a couple of times. And then you're gonna be like, all right, that shit ain't happening again. No time soon. Nah. Next time I step into this situation, it's a whole different situation. I'm not even playing with it. You feel me? Like if I ever went back to that office, I already know how I'm gonna roll up in that bitch. Nope, I don't want no advice. I don't care. I don't need none of y'all niggas help, because they all try to use you. But anyway, but you get to know that when you step out into the unknown, man. Test who you are. Test who you are. Test that grit. Test who you are as a person. Challenge yourself. Don't go for the easy shit no more. No more easy shit. Go challenge yourself. Go be great at something. Go for something hard, because everybody wants to do easy shit, but easy don't make you great. I was a great football player in college. I'm not trying to brag, but I was a great football player in college. And what I noticed is the people I was playing with, they didn't train until the season was about to start. I'm like, what? Y'all niggas ain't been training since the season ended? I might take a week or two off and then I'm back on my shit from the day 2 weeks off after the season. After that, I'm training for the rest of the season till the next season come. But I would notice like, man, I'm just starting to work out again. I'm like, how you just starting to work out again before the season? For me, I'm ready to go. I'm in shape. I'm running. I'm doing my footwork. I'm catching 100 balls a day. Like, what? How y'all niggas is not getting ready for this? That's what set me apart. That's why I always, if I wasn't playing, I was always traveling. I ain't never ever have it. I ain't never get left at home. You know what I'm saying? If there's like a 53-man roster, I'm on the 53-man roster. Just that simple. I'm never getting left at the crib. But nonetheless, these people, I mean, you got to step out there to see what you about, man. You got to. You got to see what that. If you haven't been tested in life, if you ain't cry because life is too fucking hard, that means life is too fucking easy, bro. And you got to do something. I'm talking to the young bucks that ain't got that much going on. You 20 years old, maybe fresh out of college, 22, 23 years old, fresh out of college. Go challenge yourself, man. Go put yourself through the fire real quick. Or go get a degree, or go do whatever the fuck you want to do. But put yourself through some shit. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. I want to put myself through more shit. I don't know. Maybe I'm fucked up in the head. Guys, this has been a long video, but fuck it. It is what it is. Go experience and dive in to the unknown. All right, guys. Peace.